morning and welcome into the Morning Blend Extra. Today is, of course, Friday, October 17th, and I'm DJ Baker. Coming up on today's show, we have first responders, big pumpkins, and we'll brush up on our financial planning. But first, well, let's brush up on the weather forecast as it is going to be topsy-turvy. Now today, mostly cloudy skies are expected, maybe a few peaks of sunshine toward the afternoon. High-wise, though, a lot warmer near that 80-degree mark thanks to some strong southwesterly winds, at times gusting near 25 to 30 miles per hour. Now progressing on into tonight, we do have an opportunity for a few showers and even some thunderstorms. Nothing severe expected, but I do think by the time we get towards Saturday, we'll likely mostly be drying out. Now, one or two scattered showers or storms aren't out of the question for a Saturday afternoon, but our chances really have started to shrink as the position of the cold front has now started to push a little bit more toward the south and east, but we will have more rain chances well into Saturday night into our Sunday morning. Now, Sunday is going to be an interesting day as we'll start out mostly cloudy with a few showers, but a cold front, another one, will come through. Shifting winds to be out of the northwest and at times gusting near 35 to 40 miles per hour, drawing from a cool pocket of air. So temperatures a lot cooler, only up into the upper 50s. Now progressing on, a lot of up and down when it comes to temperatures. Upper 60s for our Monday, low 50s for Tuesday, mid to upper 50s Wednesday, and back to that 60-degree mark for Thursday with overnight lows potentially near that frost category. Let's take a quick look outside. Our primetime audio video East State Street cam, still seeing a fair mixture of sunshine and clouds. And well, today definitely going to feel a lot more summer-like, and what will likely be one of the last ones to do so. Now, yesterday, World Restart a Heart Day. More than 350,000 cardiac arrests happen outside hospitals every year in the United States. According to the American Heart Association, immediate action in CPR can mean the difference between life and death. One football fan is alive today thanks to a stranger who stepped in during a game. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has the story.
After climbing the stairs to reach his upper deck seats at Ohio Stadium, Carmen Zone started feeling faint.
That's the last thing I remember, is going down to my knees, and at that point, I passed out.
I had saw him laying on the ground.
Colby Morris was seated in the same section and just happens to be an ICU nurse. He recognized signs of cardiac arrest and found no pulse.
We started doing CPR. That was just like blinders on.
Morris knew there had to be an AED in the stadium, so he asked Red Cross volunteers who were also helping to find it while he continued hands-only CPR. Minutes later, the machine was hooked up. It took 2 shocks and continued compressions, but Carmen started coming around.
Without a doubt, the actions of Colby, the Red Cross volunteers, the quick response from the medics and the ER doctor saved my life.
One of the things that we know about cardiac arrest is only 1 in 10 people survive.
ER Dr. Ashish Panchal with the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center says only about 40 to 50% of those people receive CPR, but it can double or even triple survival odds.
If you see someone who suddenly collapses, call 911, push hard and fast, because that can mean the difference between life and death.
Looking back, there's so many things that went very well.
A little more than a month later, Carmen says he's forever grateful.
There's a lot of good people out there. You know, Colby's one of them.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
A Wisconsin farmer won first prize in the pumpkin weigh-off at one of the largest U.S. harvest festivals last weekend. Jim Ford brought the pumpkin to Minnesota's Stillwater's Harvest Festival from Fond du Lac County, Wisconsin. His pumpkin weighed in at 2,491 pounds. How was he able to grow such a huge pumpkin? Well, Ford said the key is to grow it early and keep it healthy. The world record for the heaviest pumpkin is 2,819 pounds, just over 300 pounds more than Jim's.
It's just like a little baby. We don't want them too hot. We don't want them too cold. We want them just right. The trick is to get these things as healthy as you could, get them off to a fast start, and keep them as healthy as long as you could.
Man, that is a big pumpkin. Well, speaking of pumpkins, let's transition now to potatoes. Lay's announced what it's calling the biggest rebrand in nearly 100 years of its history. The top-selling potato chip brand in the U.S. has redesigned its chip bags and recipes. For the packaging, Lay's said its new logo has a warmer, more distinct sun and now the sun rays. Lay's rays beaming from it. It says the packages have a refined color palette inspired by its recipes, including pickle green, hickory brown, and savory red. It also added the text "made with real potatoes" on the bags. As for the ingredient changes, Lay's said it's removing artificial flavors and colors from its core products in the U.S. by the end of the year. Also, some chip varieties have been reformulated with avocado and olive oil. Well, coming up, welcome back. October is a great month for fall colors, pumpkin spice, and financial planning. We'll be back with Klaas Financial after the break.
First Alert Weather Plus, the State Line's only 24/7 weather channel, on air at 19.3 WSLN, the First Alert Weather app, or wherever you stream WIFR. Sponsored by Total Exteriors.
They make the plays, you make them famous. Football Frenzy Play of the Week, only on WIFR. Sponsored by Holcomb Bank.
Every first matters. That first alarm, your first cup of coffee.
And that first look of what the day can bring.
And WIFR is right here with you.
With your first alert when weather could impact your day.
A First Alert Action Day for the potential of strong severe storms.
With stories that matter most.
And your first look at what's ahead.
We have an update on breaking news from last night.
Wherever you stream WIFR, we help you start your day prepared.
Every first, every day. Tune to WIFR this morning.
At WIFR, we want to know, does your pet have an entertaining personality? What about their unusual features? Do they have an iconic sense of fashion? Why not give them the spotlight they deserve with WIFR Pet Picks? Scan the QR code or go to WIFR.com. Click on See It, Send It, and upload your pet's picture or video. They could even be featured on WIFR News at 6. WIFR Pet Picks, sponsored by First Staffing.
When you want to know right now, predict, or catch up on the stories you missed, download video of your local news on the WIFR News app. Live breaking news.
We have reports of multiple shots fired.
Real-time forecasts.
We are tracking some rain potential for tomorrow.
Custom alerts for the stories that impact you. It's fast and, best of all, free. The WIFR News app, where the news and video you want are all in one app.
They make the play, you make them famous. Football Frenzy Play of the Week, only on WIFR. Sponsored by Holcomb Bank.
Well, thanks for sticking with us here on the Morning Blend Extra. It is National Financial Planning Month, and with the end of the year rapidly approaching, we're now joined by Alyssa Tom from Klaas Financial to help us get a bit more of an understanding in our finances in order. Alyssa, thanks for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
So I know it can kind of feel overwhelming. You know, we're getting down to the end of the year, and of course, financial planning is pretty important. So what are some of the ways people can go ahead and get the ball rolling?
It's a great question. It's never too early to start. I always suggest people interview advisors, find someone they're comfortable with, research their credentials, their background, and make sure that they specialize in what your needs are. Initially, a good place to start is just by having familiarity with what your spending and savings habits are. Identify your goals and find someone to help you put the pieces of the puzzle together and fill in the gaps as needed.
So what are kind of the ideals when somebody's looking for a financial planner, like for an actual person themselves, like what qualities are you looking for?
It's a great question. I think a good advisor should help you anticipate and adjust to what life throws your way and to familiarize with your financial landscape. So somebody who can serve as an objective partner to help clarify your mind around decisions. Beyond technical expertise, it should be somebody that you trust and feel good about working with, that has the ability to understand that the person behind the finances, so that they are comfortable and competent to help you adjust in real time with whatever comes your way.
Okay, that makes sense. So once you actually, find something that you do trust and, you have faith in, what does the actual process start to look like from there?
So from there, you would want to start gathering your financial documents. Again, have familiarity with your spending and your savings habits. And just overall, your advisor will look into your current tax situation to help forecast in the future. Everything plays in. They'll look into your insurance coverage and confirm whether you're adequately covered, or maybe suggest that you should revisit it, and help kind of look at it holistically, because every little thing that you do plays into your plans, your goals now and later, and it just all should come together so nicely. And it's important working with a fiduciary planner, such as a CFP professional, somebody who's going to look at that holistically as a full picture to get a grasp of your full landscape and not look at any one area in isolation. That's really the key to successful financial planning and give you the best chance of success for your goals.
Yeah, that does make sense. So, as people are gathering their stuff, what documents would you recommend? I know, of course, your tax returns, but, is there other stuff that you would recommend?
Absolutely. So tax returns are very insightful, but having statements of current accounts such as retirement plans like 401ks, even what you have going for you at the bank, that all comes into play to find whether your investment lineup is the most efficient to help you accomplish your goals and to make sure everything's in line and buttoned up and nothing is overlooked.
Yeah. So kind of how long does the process take? Does it vary from person to person, or like just kind of give, ballpark on an average as, somebody comes in, they have all their documents ready, they found their person. How long does that process then take to actually get a nice financial plan?
From the time that somebody walks into our doors, we get working right away. So we don't want to push anything out too far because we know it's front to mind for everybody and we support that, we want that. So our goal is, in our first meeting, is as much information gathering as possible so that we can help you hit the ground running. With follow-up planning meetings to come, it can vary based on the complexity and the goals each person has. But really, once we have all the information we need, we can pretty quickly, I'd say within the span of a few weeks, get somebody feeling, a lot of the time when people leave that first meeting, they feel good. But it's a puzzle, right? It takes time to put together, get things in place, help tidy things up. So it's a relationship that's constantly evolving, and sometimes it can move very quickly, and for some people it's step A and we revisit step B once you get step A done, right? It can vary.
So you just said revisiting, a lot of stuff can change kind of in a blink of an eye. You could get married, you have a kid, or, sadly some of you might have to pass. So how often would you recommend people kind of review this plan? Is there like specific life milestones, or just, generally your bases, or kind of a combination of both?
It's a great question because financial planning it's a journey, not a destination, right? So we set forth with our goals for the future today, but there's things that we can't predict. For example, this year we saw the Fairness and Social Security Act. So people received unexpected income this year, and which is a great thing, but it does warrant a time to hit pause and do some planning, right? Some fine tuning. We also saw the enhanced senior tax deduction. So everything that comes our way outside of our control is as a reason to pause and look at how that relates to our financial plan. But like you alluded to, there are, marriages, job change. Maybe you suddenly decide you want to relocate, completely change what you thought your plans would look like. Those are all times to pulse check with your advisor. And ideally, if you're meeting with your advisor at least annually moving up toward retirement, they'll have familiarity with your situation, with your financial landscape, so that when something comes your way, we can pivot and in real time help you adjust to stay on track.
Okay, that actually makes quite a bit of sense. And of course, we're finally starting to wrap down 2025 with next year it's hard to believe it's the middle of October already. It's been such a fast year, but of course, with that in mind, a lot of action items kind of need to be dealt with before we get to the end of the financial year for 2025 and before we kick off 2026. So can you kind of tell me like what action items people should start kind of being on the lookout for or start thinking about?
Wrapping up this year, if you haven't handled your required minimum distribution, if you are someone who has to do so, you're getting near into that window where we want to make sure that's buttoned up. If you're already on top of that, now is a window of time to look at you're in Medicare open enrollment. So even if you're just revisiting your Part D plan, that weighs into your financial plan, right? So it's a good time to meet with a specialist and look at that. It's also a time if you or grandkid or child or someone you care about is college bound, FAFSA opens this month. So doing that sooner than later can help with more preparation leading into next year. Looking ahead to next year, even charitable gifting strategies, income solutions for next year, strategies around that. It's something to pulse check around this time. Do that before you guys leave us for the warmer states. But,
fair enough. Hey, winters are coming. But of course, it is National Financial Planning Month, but it's also National Cybersecurity Month. And I know for a lot of us bank online, so a lot of sensitive details could potentially be out and about. How do you guys kind of help with cybersecurity, and what are some tips you'd recommend?
You guys are going to roll your eyes at this. I know someone out there is. Use the multi-factor authentication. I know it's annoying. I know it's frustrating. The more you can do to prevent information being compromised, it's worth pausing on. We see a lot more and more now than ever. You should be changing your passwords frequently. Don't use the same passwords. Don't put them in a book to carry around. Don't put them here and carry it around with you. Don't share any personal information. And honestly, I think one thing that we need to all work a little bit better on is being compassionate and being more understanding, so that when somebody calls us, if somebody's using you as a second set of ears and eyes, be compassionate with them, because it's more common than ever. Yeah. And we're seeing, you know, even phone, online, you know, fraud's not going away anytime soon. And if somebody's pressuring you on time and they're giving you a time constraint, they're trying to steer you away from consulting people or talking to people about what they want to get from you. That's a reason to pause. And yeah. I think it's important that we all feel comfortable reaching out to somebody as a second set of ears and eyes, and can help combat that as best we can.
All right. Well, Melissa, thanks so much for joining us on the show. I know I learned quite a bit. Hopefully the viewers at home did as well. They're Klaas Financial. The information is up on the screen. They're located at 4707 Perry Ridge Lane in Loves Park. Phone number 815-877-8440. And of course, you can go to klaasfinancial.com. Well, when we come back, we're taking a look at what's coming up in theaters, as there's plenty to take a look at, from new musicals to, well, even some actual music artists. We'll take a look at it when we come back.
Friday night, under the lights, we all like a jet, we taking a flight. I know my worth, they checking the price, they taking a risk, they rolling the dice.
Tune into Football Frenzy Friday nights in the update at 10. Then watch Football Frenzy Plus right after, wherever you stream WIFR. Sponsored by McCloskey, Kessler & Associates.
Every first matters. That first alarm, your first cup of coffee.
And that first look of what the day can bring.
And WIFR is right here with you.
With your first alert when weather could impact your day.
A first alert action day for the potential of strong severe storms.
With stories that matter most.
And your first look at what's ahead.
We have an update on breaking news from last night.
Wherever you stream WIFR, we help you start your day prepared.
Every first, every day. Tune to WIFR this morning.
Well, thank you again for sticking with us. Movie, music, and streaming news now. Here's Douglas Hyde with the Hollywood Minute.
A sing-along version of K-pop Demon Hunters is returning to the big screen for Halloween. The hugely popular animated film is back in theaters on a limited run from October 31st to November 2nd. It's Netflix's most watched movie ever, and the streamer has created lyric videos just in case fans want to practice first at home.
Nothing is ever easy, but we learned so much, and that's why we wanted to give you a glimpse into the spirit of the making of the film.
Want a deep dive into the making of a blockbuster? James Cameron leads the way in Fire and Water, making the Avatar films. The new two-part documentary gives a behind-the-scenes look at Avatar: The Way of Water and a sneak peek at the upcoming Avatar: Fire and Ash. Fire and Water debuts on Disney Plus November 7th.
Tune in to what tonight has got to offer. Listen, we may never be here again.
Sammy Hagar's new live album was recorded this year during his residency at Las Vegas's Park MGM. The veteran rocker performed more Van Halen songs there than he has in decades. Hagar says he and bandmate Michael Anthony figured it was time.
Once Eddie died and Alex said he sold all his equipment, it was like, okay, there's never going to be a Van Halen reunion, and that's done. So Mike and I just looked at each other, high-fived, and said, let's go out and do it. And oh, it's such a pleasure singing 5150, Summer Nights.
In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
Well, that pretty much wraps up the Morning Blend Extra for us here today. Thanks so much for joining us. Of course, more WIFR news will be here at noon. And of course, check out the Fastcast for a more detailed look at our forecast coming up at 1 o'clock. Have a great rest of your Friday.